How's it going, folks? CR here, bringing you another gun control Q&A. So, on my standard gun control Q&As, I'll have 5 questions I answer. This one, however, I'm going to be focused on one question. The reason for this being is that I could give a simple answer to this question, but there's a lot of other information that would get left out if I just gave the simple answer. Information that's also pertinent to this question. So, with this being said, I'm going to take this video and focus on this one question. So, let's start off with the simple answer to this question, and then we'll get a little deeper into it. The fact of the matter is that the Democrats at this moment are trying to score some sort of victories for their party to get their base fired up. And I understand that not all Democrats are in favor of gun control. You have some Democrats that are pro-Second Amendment, and they constantly remind me, not all Democrats. Well, the fact of the matter is that gun control is a part of your party's platform. Deal with it. The thing they're claiming a victory is the fact that they got this bill passed through the House, and they got 8 Republicans to go against their base's general wishes in order to pass this, and now they're going to call this bipartisan. Now, they are hoping that some Republicans in the Senate will do the same and they get it past the Senate. But if not, they can always claim that, well, you see, the Republicans rejected a bipartisan effort. And that's how they're going to frame it if it fails in the Senate. However, if it does not fail in the Senate and does go to the desk of Donald Trump, they're going to claim that, well, this was a bipartisan bill that Donald Trump vetoed if he does veto it. And what they're hoping that they can do is say, well, hey, Donald, both Republicans and Democrats supported this bill because a handful of Republicans caved to the Democrats. And the Democrats are notorious for doing this. They are notorious for getting a few Republicans to cave, in favor of what they want in order to get it pushed through and called bipartisan. And this, my friends, is a big reason why, just because the Republicans hold the majority in a House or the Senate, or even if they hold the Oval Office, that doesn't mean they can be trusted to stick up for the interests of the people who would vote for them. The issue the Republicans have is that they tend to cave to the opposition, even if they do have the moral high ground. That's just a fact of the matter. They've demonstrated this time and time and time again. So, yes, while I agree with you that it probably will not make it through the Senate, if it does make it through the Senate and pass the desk of Donald Trump, well, it is going to become a law, and it's going to become a law that the Supreme Court probably won't even hear, much less overturn. That's just the fact of the matter. When it comes to our federal court systems and trying to overturn gun laws, that is a very difficult thing to do. The leftists in our court system tend to defend those gun laws tooth and nail. So it is highly doubtful the Supreme Court would even hear that case, much less overturn it. I mean, I'm hoping I'm wrong on that if it does become law. I'm hoping that the Supreme Court will finally have enough sense to it to start overturning some unconstitutional laws. I just can't see it happening, not even in today's climate, dude. Furthermore, it's doubtful that a Republican-controlled House, Senate, and President would overturn such a law. If you look at the Republicans' track record, they have a very poor track record of overturning bad laws that the Democrats pass. I mean, you remember the ACH? Yeah, Republicans had a chance to overturn that whole bill and replace it. They chose not to. Hell, let's look at the National Concealed Carry Reciprocity and the SHARE Act. Who shelved those again? The Republicans did. And those were pretty much set to go. I mean, they could have passed those and had an even more energized base come next election. But they chose not to. And that is pretty much the short answer, the simple answer. Now, to further expand upon this, the fact of the matter is that even if this particular bill fails, you think this is the end of it? No. I mean, if this bill passes, you think this is the end of what the Democrats are going to do? No. The Democrats, one of their party's main goals is to infringe upon your Second Amendment rights. They want to control gun ownership. They don't care that this next gun law won't save anybody's life or make anybody safer. That's not the point. The point is controlling firearm ownership. This is why you can actually argue with them tooth and nail and pretty much prove to them that their gun law proposal wouldn't have stopped ex-school shooting or ex-mass shooting because of X, Y, and Z. And they'll still demand that gun law, and they'll still use that mass shooting that you're arguing about as evidence for that gun law, even though that gun law would not have prevented that mass shooting had it been in place. It's not about saving lives to them. One of the ways you know is the way they defend gun-free zones tooth and nail, despite all the evidence showing that these gun-free zones are in fact targets for mass murderers. Given the correlation with mass shootings and gun-free zones, coupled with the fact that it's real easy to see how somebody who's looking to rack up a body count would target one of these places where they would face little to no resistance in getting that body count. It's pretty easy to see how gun-free zones have actually cost people their lives, yet the Democrats, or the actual party itself, will defend these things tooth and nail. They will fight tooth and nail to keep gun-free zones from getting repealed. And not only that, but gun controllers, the people that support these laws, have no problem misleading you, lying to you, deceiving you in order to gain your support for these laws. This flyer right here is a prime example. This flyer was put out as a response to the proposal for campus carry in Texas. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, the law passed, by the way, thankfully. But for those of you who don't know, it basically allows students and faculty with concealed carry permits to carry on college. Now, anybody with a Texas license to carry knows that you can't be intoxicated and carrying at the same time. That is illegal. Also, you're talking about a college campus. Usually, I thought students got drunk at the bars in college, or off campus. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't foresee students getting drunk in class. I don't see a whole lot of alcohol being served in class. Now, in the bars just outside of campus, that might be a different story. And by the way, those bars are still gun-free zones. In fact, you carry into a business that has 51% of their profits coming from alcohol for consumption on premises, aka a bar, that's a felony. So yes, those bars are still gun-free zones. that bill did not make those bars not gun-free zones. What it basically did was allow for students and faculty with concealed carry permits to carry on campus while they are sober. It's still illegal to carry while you're intoxicated. But it's not like those facts matter to the people pushing these gun laws. Another one they don't like is the PLCAA. And for those of you who don't know what the PLCAA is, well, that basically provides FFLs protections in civil court against abusive lawsuits so long as the FFL was following the law when they were engaging in their business. This would be akin to a protection on Ford if, say, somebody got into, say, a Mustang drunk and ended up crashing it and killing somebody. So, I mean, how this is unreasonable, I don't know. Well, I actually do know why the gun controllers do not like this. Hence, the inner Democrat Party does not like this. Think about it for a few seconds. Another fact that needs to be considered in this is their opposition to national concealed carry reciprocity. And basically what national concealed carry reciprocity means is that you have a permit to carry in one state, you can carry in another state, so long as you're following the laws in the state you're carrying in. Now, concealed carry permit holders have a track record of being very law-abiding. So, with that being said, there's very little reason to oppose this. And in fact, the one I've got up there is probably about the best argument they've got, really more of an excuse. But needless to say, I mean, let's think about this here for 5 seconds. Somebody goes out, purchases a pistol, and they're getting their concealed carry permit. Do you think for 5 minutes that they're not going to the range and at least getting somewhat proficient on their firearm? Then, in fact, the odds are they're probably shooting their firearm at that range more than your average cop is required to shoot their firearm to qualify. Guarantee you. So, the fact that they're opposing this is more food for thought. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure at this point you guys might be wondering, why am I bringing up all these previous fights? And the fact of the matter is that it illustrates the bigger picture in all of this. You see, the Democrat leadership, you can say what you want, they are in favor of reducing gun ownership. That is their goal. They don't care about whether or not their next restriction is actually going to save lives. They certainly don't care that allowing a concealed carry holder to carry on what was once a gun-free zone might actually save some lives. They don't care about that. They don't care that it's unreasonable to sue somebody out of business because some criminal took their product and used it in a criminal act, even though the owners of the business themselves were engaging in a lawful commerce and they were doing it within the bounds of the law. They don't care how unreasonable it is to sue those people out of business. And they certainly don't care how unreasonable it is to, not allow people who have licenses to carry to have it recognized in other states. Just like your driver's license. They don't care how unreasonable they're being on this issue. They really don't. So, yeah, it's not about saving lives with the Democrats. And I know, again, as I say, somebody's going to say, well, not all Democrats. Well, yeah, their leadership, the direction the party's heading, That is their goal. Their goal is to reduce firearm ownership. That's it. So, it's not about saving lives. It's not about anything reasonable or common sense. It's about simply reducing the legal firearm ownership. And yes, this is a top priority for the Democrat Party. How you can tell this, it's real obvious. What bills do you think they're constantly introducing? What bills do you think they're constantly fighting to pass? It sure as hell ain't legalization of marijuana, I can tell you that much. You know, it's sure as hell not repealing some of the more authoritarian regulations that their base might appreciate repealing. It is coming after legal firearm ownership. Alright, so with that being said, thank you guys for watching, listening. Y'all take her easy out there. Have a great day.